There are professional ballroom dancers charging $500 an hour, and today I'm going to show you exactly the 3 steps to build a brand that gets you there using AI. Now, here is what I see every single day in our industry, and I want you to really sit with it for a moment. You are an exceptional teacher. You have invested years into your craft. You have real students, real results, real relationship. But when someone who does not know you goes to look for a dance professional, what do they find about you? What story is being told? What message comes through? Because without a brand, the answer is nothing clear comes through. And nothing clear means that now you compete on price. And competing on price is a ceiling that you will never break through. But here is what comes possible when you build a brand that communicates who you are, who you serve, and the transformation that you deliver to your clients, so that they stop needing to be convinced. They arrive to you already sold because your brand is doing the work before they even show up to the studio or before they even contact you. And with AI as your tool, you can now build that brand in a single afternoon. In the next few minutes, in fact, I'm going to walk you through the 3 steps. Number 1, how to craft your personal story. Number 2, how to define your ideal client. And number 3, how to create your brand message. These 3 pillars together give you the most powerful brand foundation any dance professional can have. In fact, if you want to know what separates the instructor who command premium rates from the one who stays stuck at the same ceiling years after years, stay with me because this is about it. So hi there, everybody. This is Oreste Alitto, and if you are a professional ballroom dancer and teacher, an established instructor who has been in this industry long enough to know that talent alone does not build the income and the lifestyle that you deserve, then this episode of the Dancepreneur Method is specifically designed just for you. Today, we are building the 3 core pillars of your personal brand, and we are going to use AI to do it faster, smarter, and more clearly than most professionals have ever managed to do on their own. So now I want to be very clear and upfront about this. This is not about designing a logo, for instance. This is not about posting more on social media. This is about building a brand that positions you as the premium choice in your market. The kind of brand that makes you $500 an hour feel not just possible, but actually inevitable. So let's start. Number 1, your personal story. Now, here is something that most of us in this industry were never taught to think about it. We kind of hide our personal story most of the time. And I say this because I've spoken with hundreds of dance professionals, and almost none of them have ever been asked this question in their professional context. When a new client finds you online, before they book, before they show up at the studio, before they even look at your rates, the first thing that they are searching for is a reason to trust you. And that reason doesn't lay in what we normally think. It doesn't lay into the credentials. It doesn't lay into our competition history of what we have done in the past. A reason to believe that you understand their journey. This is what your potential clients are looking for. That's what they will use to trust you. They will need to understand that you have been somewhere they want themselves to go, that you are the right person for this specific path. And the reason lives in your story. That reason lives inside your personal story. And that's why it's very important to craft it right. Your story is not your biography. Your story is the moment dancing entered your life. More importantly, why you decided that this gift of dancing was not something you could just keep for yourself. Why did you decide to become a teacher? What happened that made you realize this was your purpose and not just your profession? Does that make sense? We need to identify basically in your story 3 main points. I call this the pit, the research, and the breakthrough. The pit is a down moment in your life where something was bad. Maybe you had some issues socializing, or you didn't feel confident. Something was wrong in your life. And then through dancing, you have had the chance to finally discover yourself, to finally get to exposed to socialize, to finally, getting confidence with your body, with others people's bodies, and, all the benefit that comes with it in your specific scenario, until you had a breakthrough moment which is the moment you realize that, my gosh, dancing has helped me so much with my pit moment that now I really know why it's so powerful and why it's so good. And that's why I am now on a mission to help all people that can relate to the pit moment I was going through, to fix this and to re-emerge from it through dancing, through our service, so that they can realize this. You see the pattern? Pit, your bad times in your life. Dancing, that has been the journey that start to heal you. Breakthrough moment, why this has been a game changer for you and why now you want everybody else to have the same benefit. So basically, what happened that made you realize this was your purpose and not just your profession? Does that make sense? Because this is the emotional foundation of everything. Because before the brand message, before the ideal client, there has to be a reason this work matters to you personally, a deep reason. And when that reason is communicated with clarity, your clients can feel it and they feel attracted by it. Here is how we're going to use AI to build your personal story professionally, your personal story professionally. So open your AI tool, whether it's ChatGPT, Claude, or any assistant that you already use. I use ChatGPT and Claude. And type the prompt like this: help me craft a professional personal story for my dance brand. Here is my background. And here you're going to feel the three moments, the pit, the breakthrough, the research moments, and the breakthrough of your life. So after that, AI, what will AI do? It will take these raw moments that you gave, and it will structure it into a narrative, a beginning, a turning point, a mission. It gives your story a shape that connects with people. You know what? The story is not about making yourself sound impressive. It shouldn't be about that. The story is about making your ideal client say, oh, this person really gets me. This person is meant to work with me. Let that resonate in your mind. This is the goal of the story. It's not to underline how cool you are, but it's to make sure that your ideal client can recognize themselves into this story. Your story is a bridge between where your client is standing right now, uncertain, undervalued, searching, vulnerable, and where you have the power to take them. Your story is the bridge. And the beautiful thing about using AI here is that, you're not inventing something that is not there. You are clarifying what has already been there. And you are presenting it in a way that is most powerful, most professional way possible. You are giving to AI your real story, your real background, your real stuff. That's why AI will not create anything for you. Will just help you clarifying it, have a better structure, so you can stay authentic and original to yourself, which definitely we want nowadays. So again, open AI, give it those 3 key moments, frame your journey, and let it help you shape it into a story that actually connects. Save that story, because it becomes the heartbeat of everything else we are about to build, okay? And if you feel that you would like to get some assistance creating your story, maybe you feel like, oh my gosh, I have so many pit moments in my life. Oh my gosh, I don't really recall a moment where dancing became important to me. There are techniques to make that happen clearly and honestly and genuinely. If you want help with that, there is a link below on the description of this video. Book your free Dancepreneur breakthrough call. I'll be happy to dedicate an hour of my time to you and to help you clarifying this for your business. Sounds good? Click the link below, get into my calendar. So let's move on to number 2 now, define your ideal client. So here is where AI becomes something truly powerful, not just as a writing tool, but as a thinking tool, a tool that helps you to see your own business with clarity that is almost impossible to develop on your own. Because here is what I see in our industry, and I say this with all the respect in the world for every dance professional who has built something real. But when we imagine the client we want to serve, our tendency is to describe them in a very generical terms, very general terms. Someone who is passionate about dancing, maybe someone who is committed, someone who takes their lessons seriously. And while this is a starting point, pretty good, it is not specific enough to build a brand around it. It is not specific enough to command your premium rates. And it is not specific enough for the right client to look at your brand and feel like you are speaking directly to them. Your ideal client has an age, a lifestyle, a specific frustration they're going through, a specific issue they're carrying for a long time, a specific dream that they have not yet found the path to. They have things they stay up at night thinking about it, things they would never say out loud to just anyone, but they would immediately recognize if they heard someone else describe it perfectly. And when your brand has the capability to speak directly to those things, these people, your ideal client, now they feel seen. And when people feel truly seen, price becomes secondary. Here is the AI prompt that I want you to use for your ideal client. So you'll start a new chat and you will give this prompt. I'm a professional ballroom instructor. My ideal client is and you will describe your ideal client the best you can right now. Their age, their lifestyle, what they do professionally, what drew them to dance if they already dance, or what they want from working with an instructor for dancing and stuff like that. You will also say to the AI, I suggest, you will write, help me build a detailed profile of this person, their goals, their fears, their objections, and the language that they actually use to describe what we want. What you will get back from it is a level of insight that normally takes years of observation to develop, but AI can literally synthesize patterns and give you the exact words, the vocabulary your ideal client uses when they describe, their own desire, their own hesitation, their own dreams. This is what I really want you to understand. Even though you know your ideal client, you understand you are not necessarily the same of your ideal client. They don't think exactly like you think. So when you create a message or you want to speak to them, you have to speak in the language that they would use to describe their situation. If you do the mistake to use your own language to describe their issue, their problems, or even their goals and desires, you might not be able to reach them. You won't be able to communicate with them. So when you speak about their problems, their issue, what inspires them, what attracts them, you have to use their words, their vocabulary. That's why AI is extremely important with that. Once you define your ideal client, you can ask it, how do these people speak about their issues? So you can use that exact terminology into your marketing. Does that make sense? So when you do this, your brand message stops sounding like every other instructor in town, and it starts sounding like a real conversation that this specific person has been waiting to have their entire life. Does that make sense? I hope so. Now, I want to add something here that I believe is absolutely critical. Your ideal client is not just regular demographic. Your ideal client is someone at a very specific point in their journey. And for you as an established dance professional building a premium brand, your ideal client is luckily someone that has already experienced something real in this world. It's someone that is wealthy, that has the ability to pay, someone that has already invested into their self-development, into their personal development, into their entertainment, into their hobbies, right? So that now they could start spending with you for what you can help them achieve. Does that make sense? So it's important that you understand your ideal client at which step, at which chapter, or which season of their journey they are, and how you can bring them to the next level. Think about this. Which type of student, when you finish a session with them, they make you teach them and you feel so good. You feel like, oh my gosh, I nailed this lesson. This person was very happy. There was a great communication. You felt excited. You felt great as a teacher. You felt inspired after that lesson. Now, that is your ideal client. Take that ideal client, take the information of that ideal client, and use it. But this is how you recognize your ideal client from what you already have. Does that make sense? Now that you have them, go to AI and go deeper into who this client is, and then go out there and find more of these people. That's the point. So again, run the prompt, save the profile, refine it until it feels like a real nice portrait of your ideal client. This profile becomes the filter for every decision your brand is going to make from now on. Okay, so that's very important. And if you feel slightly overwhelmed in defining this ideal client, if you feel that this is something you would like to get some help to define and to understand it through, maybe with someone that already has done this before. Now, I left for you in the description a link that you can use to book your own Dancepreneur breakthrough call with me. And we're going to use that hour of time to understand who your ideal client is, who it should be, how can we market to this person specifically. And that's going to be a turning point for your business for sure. So take advantage, book your call, and see you there, and let's discuss your business. And now let's move to the step number 3, to create your brand message. And here is where everything finally comes together. This is the step that most dance professionals have never been introduced to, not because they didn't search or they're not smart enough, but simply because in our business, we don't have the knowledge and the culture about it. So this is very important. Your story, your personal story, plus your ideal client gives you everything you need to know to create your brand message. The one clear statement that tells the world exactly who you are, who you serve, and what transformation you create for them. This is not a tagline. It's not even a marketing copy. This is your brand message promise. It's your promise. It's the articulation of your value in a way that makes the right person stop, read it, and think, oh, this person is the person I've been looking for. And here is the AI prompt that I want you to use for step 3 for defining your brand message. So go to your AI tool and type this. Here is my personal story, and you paste the personal story we did on step 1. Here is my ideal client profile, and you paste your ideal client profile. Now help me create a brand message, 1 or 2 sentence statements that capture who I am as a dance professional, who I serve specifically, and the transformation I create for them. What you will receive is a starting point. You will receive a phrase that will speak about your business. And I want to be clear about this. It is a starting point that you will refine with time. It's something that needs to be tweaked with time, but you read it out loud, you adjust the language until it sounds like your voice, until it makes you feel something special when you say it. Because if it does not move you, it is unlikely that will move your audience. And you know what? When I work with dance professionals on this, the moment they arrive to their real brand message, there is always an important shift. Something changes at that point, because for the very first time, they can step out of themselves and see clearly through the lens of the value that they deliver. So they don't see anymore themselves as just a dance teacher, but they start seeing themselves as the real architect of the transformation that they deliver to their clients. And here is the beautiful truth about what these 3 steps create together. Once you have your story, your ideal client, and your brand message, you have the foundation to launch your first product, your first service, your classes, your privates, your prime packages, your whatever you're selling. You know who you are, you know who you're speaking to, you know what problem you're solving, and you know why you are the right person to solve that problem for your students. Everything else, your offer, your structure, your price, your marketing language, social presence, will flow naturally from this foundation. This is not where the work ends, of course. This is only where the work officially starts, and starts in a good direction. And that is the difference between building a brand and building a business. Before building a business, you must have clarity of the brand. And these 3 steps with AI in one afternoon, you can create a very clear, solid starting point brand. So let that resonate in your mind for a moment. Now, if that speaks to you, if this lesson was pleasant and you feel like it could serve you, I really want to help you implementing this stuff. So there is a link below in the description to book your free Dancepreneur breakthrough call. I call it like this because it's literally a breakthrough. Regardless if we're going to work together or not, I will dig into your business and I will help you plan 2 or 3 months from that moment. A plan for you to actually revolutionize your business in the best way possible, regardless if we will work together or not. But I want you to have clarity. This is my mission. I want dancers to become entrepreneurs of a high level. So join your Dancepreneur breakthrough call for free. Let's get into your business. come out of that call with the confidence and the clear path that you need to boost your business for real. Okay? That was all for today. So welcome to the Dancepreneur Method, and I hope to see you and to talk about your business as soon as possible. Hope that served you. See you on the other side.